The human mind is a remarkable force, capable of extraordinary feats when pushed to its limits. In the harshest conditions, whether it's the freezing tundra, scorching deserts, or the isolation of space, people don't just survive, they adapt, endure, and sometimes even thrive. Today, we're diving into the fascinating psychology of how the human mind copes with extreme environments, exploring the mental strategies, biological adaptations, and sheer resilience that keep us going when the odds are stacked against us. Let's begin with the basics. What happens to the mind under extreme stress? When faced with harsh conditions, the body's survival instincts kick in, triggering a cascade of physiological responses. The brain releases stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, sharpening focus and boosting energy to tackle immediate threats. But surviving long-term in extreme environments requires more than just a physical response. It demands mental fortitude. Studies show that people in high-stress situations, like polar expeditions or deep-sea missions, rely on a combination of optimism, problem-solving, and emotional regulation to stay sane. One key factor in mental survival is mindset. Psychologists call it the survival mindset, a blend of determination, adaptability, and hope. Take the story of Ernest Shackleton's 1914 Antarctic expedition. Trapped in ice for months, his crew faced starvation, freezing temperatures, and uncertainty. Yet Shackleton's leadership and unwavering belief in survival kept morale high. He encouraged small routines like daily meals and storytelling to maintain a sense of normalcy. This shows us that in extreme conditions, the mind clings to structure and purpose to ward off despair. Adaptation also hinges on cognitive flexibility, the ability to reframe challenges as opportunities. In harsh environments, people learn to focus on what they can control. For example, Arctic explorers might not control the weather, but they can master their equipment or ration their food. This mental shift reduces feelings of helplessness. Research from NASA's Mars simulation missions reveals that astronauts who practice problem-focused coping, actively addressing issues rather than dwelling on them, report lower stress levels, even in confined, high-pressure settings. But it's not just about individual strength. Social connection plays a massive role in mental survival. Humans are wired for community, and even in the most isolated conditions, relationships matter. In prisoner of war camps, survivors often formed tight-knit groups, sharing stories, humor, and support to combat loneliness. These bonds create a sense of shared purpose, reminding people they're not alone in their struggle. Even in modern extreme sports like solo mountaineering, athletes describe feeling connected to a larger community of adventurers, which fuels their mental resilience. The brain itself adapts to extreme conditions in surprising ways. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, allows people to develop new skills and coping mechanisms. For instance, Inuit hunters in the Arctic have honed spatial awareness and memory to navigate featureless snowscapes, a skill that's passed down through generations. Similarly, high-altitude climbers develop heightened focus and emotional control to manage oxygen deprivation. These adaptations show how the brain evolves to meet the demands of its environment, often in ways we're only beginning to understand. Of course, not everyone thrives under pressure. Extreme conditions can push the mind to its breaking point, leading to anxiety, depression, or even hallucinations. During long polar nights, when darkness lasts for months, some researchers experience winter over syndrome, marked by irritability and cognitive fog. Yet, remarkably, many recover by leaning on routines, exercise, and creative outlets like journaling or art. This highlights a critical truth. The mind is malleable, capable of bouncing back with the right tools. So, what can we learn from those who survive the unimaginable? First, resilience is built through preparation, training the mind before entering extreme conditions, through visualization, stress inoculation, or mindfulness, can make all the difference. Second, purpose is a lifeline. Whether it's a mission to complete, a family to return to, or a personal goal, having a why keeps people going. Finally, adaptability is key. The ability to pivot, reframe, and find meaning in hardship turns survivors into thrivers. The human mind's capacity to endure harsh conditions is a testament to our species' strength. From ancient nomads crossing deserts to astronauts orbiting Earth, we've proven time and again that we can face the toughest challenges and come out stronger. As we push the boundaries of exploration on this planet and beyond, the lessons of mental survival will guide us. Because no matter how extreme the environment, the mind finds a way to adapt, endure, and overcome. The human mind is a powerhouse of potential, capable of withstanding incredible challenges when equipped with the right tools. In our previous exploration, we saw how people survive in the harshest environments, frozen tundras, scorching deserts, even the vastness of space, through mental adaptability and sheer willpower. But what makes this possible? How do some individuals not only endure extreme conditions but emerge stronger? Welcome to the science of resilience, the art and biology of building mental strength for life's toughest challenges. Today, we'll uncover the neuroscience, psychology, and practical strategies behind resilience, showing you how to train your mind to thrive, whether you're facing an extreme adventure or everyday stress. Let's start with what resilience actually is. Psychologists define it as the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity, stress, or trauma. It's not about being unbreakable, it's about being flexible, like a bamboo stalk that bends in a storm but doesn't snap. Resilience is what allows climbers to summit Everest despite oxygen deprivation, astronauts to stay focused during months in space, and everyday people to overcome personal setbacks like job loss or grief. The good news? Resilience isn't just a trait you're born with. It's a skill you can build, and science is showing us how. At the heart of resilience lies the brain's remarkable ability to adapt, known as neuroplasticity. Your brain isn't a fixed machine. It's a dynamic network that rewires itself based on experience. When you face stress, your brain's prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation, works overtime to keep you calm and focused. Meanwhile, the amygdala, your brain's alarm system, signals danger and triggers stress responses. Resilient people have a knack for balancing these two regions, calming the amygdala's panic mode while activating the prefrontal cortex's problem-solving powers. Studies show that practices like mindfulness meditation can strengthen this balance, increasing gray matter in the prefrontal cortex and making you better at handling stress over time. But how do you train your brain for resilience? One powerful method is stress inoculation, a technique used by astronauts, soldiers, and elite athletes. Think of it as a mental vaccine. By exposing yourself to controlled doses of stress, you teach your brain to cope better under pressure. For example, NASA trains astronauts in simulated emergencies, like equipment failures in underwater habitats, to build confidence in high-stakes situations. You can apply this in daily life by stepping outside your comfort zone. Maybe public speaking, tackling a tough workout, or practicing problem-solving in stressful scenarios. Over time, these small challenges rewire your brain to see stress as manageable rather than overwhelming. Another key to resilience is cognitive reframing, or changing how you view a situation. Your brain naturally focuses on threats, a leftover trait from our ancestors who needed to spot predators. But in modern life, this can trap us in negative thought loops. Resilient people reframe challenges as opportunities. For instance, instead of seeing a failed project as a disaster, they view it as a chance to learn. Psychologists call this benefit finding. Research from the University of California shows that people who practice reframing during tough times, like illness or job loss, report lower anxiety and faster emotional recovery. You can start small. Next time you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming, think of it as a moment to listen to a podcast or practice deep breathing. Purpose is another cornerstone of resilience. Having a why to keep going can make even the toughest situations bearable. This is why explorers like Shackleton kept their crews motivated during Antarctic ordeals by focusing on the shared goal of survival. Studies of Holocaust survivors reveal that those who clung to a sense of purpose, whether reuniting with family or preserving their cultural heritage, were more likely to endure. You don't need an epic mission to tap into this. Setting clear goals like mastering a skill, helping others, or improving your health gives your brain a North Star to navigate challenges. Write down one goal that matters to you and revisit it when times get tough. It's like an anchor for your mind. Social connection is just as critical. Humans are wired for community, and resilience thrives in relationships. When Navy SEALs train for grueling missions, they emphasize teamwork, knowing that trust in their squad can mean the difference between life and death. Even in less extreme settings, social support buffers stress. A 2015 study in the journal Nature found that oxytocin, the bonding hormone released during positive social interactions, reduces cortisol levels, helping you stay calm under pressure. To build your own support network, prioritize meaningful connections. Call a friend, join a club, or volunteer. Even small acts like checking in on a neighbor can boost your resilience by reminding you you're not alone. Let's talk about physical habits, because the mind and body are deeply linked. Exercise is a resilient superpower. It boosts endorphins, improves mood, and enhances cognitive function under stress. A 2020 study from Harvard showed that regular aerobic exercise increases the size of the hippocampus, the brain region tied to memory and emotional regulation. You don't need to run marathons. 30 minutes of brisk walking, yoga, or dancing 5 days a week can work wonders. Sleep is equally vital. Chronic sleep deprivation impairs the prefrontal cortex, making you more reactive to stress. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep by sticking to a consistent bedtime and avoiding screens an hour before bed. Mindfulness and relaxation techniques are also game changers. Mindfulness trains you to stay present, reducing the tendency to catastrophize about the future. A 2018 study in The Lancet found that just 10 minutes of daily mindfulness practice lowered stress and improved focus in high-pressure jobs like firefighting. Try this. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, and when your mind wanders, gently bring it back. Progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense and release each muscle group, is another quick way to calm your nervous system. These practices don't just feel good, they physically alter your brain's stress response over time. What about creativity? It's an often overlooked resilience booster. Journaling, drawing, or playing music can help process emotions and make sense of chaos. During long Antarctic winters, researchers use creative outlets to combat isolation and monotony. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Psychology found that expressive writing, jotting down your thoughts and feelings for 15 minutes a day, reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression. Try writing about a challenge you're facing, focusing on what you've learned or how you've grown. It's like decluttering your mind, leaving you clearer and stronger. Resilience also grows through preparation. Elite performers, from Olympians to surgeons, visualize success to prime their brains for action. Before a big climb, mountaineers mentally rehearse every step, anticipating obstacles and solutions. You can do this too. Before a tough meeting or exam, close your eyes and picture yourself handling it with confidence. Pair this with pre-mortem planning. Imagine what could go wrong and plan how to address it. This combo builds a mental blueprint for success, reducing fear and boosting control. Of course, resilience isn't about never struggling. Even the toughest minds have breaking points. The difference lies in recovery. Resilient people practice self-compassion, treating themselves with the same kindness they'd offer a friend. If you fail, instead of beating yourself up, acknowledge the effort and try again. Research from Stanford shows that self-compassion strengthens motivation and reduces burnout. So next time you stumble, pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I'm human and I'm learning. Let's wrap up with a big picture truth. Resilience is a journey, not a destination. Every challenge you face, big or small, is a chance to grow stronger. The same principles that help astronauts thrive in space or explorers survive the Arctic can empower you to tackle life's uncertainties. Start small. Pick one strategy, like reframing a negative thought or calling a friend, and build from there. Over time, these habits stack up, turning your mind into a fortress of strength. The science of resilience shows us that we're all capable of more than we think. Whether you're preparing for an extreme challenge or navigating the ups and downs of daily life, you have the power to adapt, endure, and thrive. So, what's your next step? Choose one resilient habit to try today, and let it be the spark that lights your path forward. The world is full of challenges, but with a resilient mind, you're ready for anything.